Good morning everybody and welcome back to another video. My name is Michaela. If you are new here, hi, welcome, glad you're here. If you are one of my returning viewers, again, glad you're here, welcome back. Today's video is about feeling like I'm starting over again. And I know it's going to be posted under my playlist for like life and advice, but I'm not sure that this one really has a lot of advice in it because I myself am entering the unknown. I am turning 30, or when this video goes up, I'm pretty sure I will have been 30 for about a week, so cool. Firstly, I feel like there could have been a little bit of like disappointment in that announcement that that's what today's video is about, but especially for being a woman, can't speak for men, but being a woman, I feel like there is a lot of pressure and like prejudice and expectations around turning 30. So I kind of just wanted to do a bit of a video discussing it and letting y'all know how I feel, and maybe we can have some discussion in the comments from your guys' point of view, because I feel like a little bit overwhelmed, but not necessarily in a bad way, if that makes sense. I've kind of written down some notes on like things I wanted to mention, but like I said, I don't really have any advice or anything to give this video. It's more just voicing what's going on in my head in hopes that A, I can make sense of it, and B, anyone out there who's feeling the same things as me might feel a little bit like validated that they're not alone, not the only person feeling that way. Or maybe you guys have some advice for me. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for advice instead of trying to give it for once. Firstly, like, what the heck does being 30 even mean? Because every birthday up until now, obviously you go through like this patch of your life where there's like a whole bunch of milestone birthdays. I don't know where you're from and what you celebrate, but for us in New Zealand, it's like 16 can be important, but it's a little bit meh. The 18 is very important, 21 is really important, 25 is fairly important because that's like your quarter century, and then you get this bit of a break until you're 30. But for some reason there's a difference between like these huge celebrations of 18, 21, 25, and then when you hit 30 it's like that's what it feels like. It feels like everyone around you goes, oh, 30, you know? And it's so silly because realistically you've just had 4 birthdays where nobody really gave much of a shit how old you were, and then you go to hit 30 and everybody's suddenly like so invested but also like really disappointed for you. And I feel like especially on TV there's a lot of this whole like being 30 is supposed to be really daunting and really life-changing and life-ending for women, you know? If you don't have a certain list of things accomplished by the time you're 30, you are a failure. I'm sorry, there's absolutely no other way to define who you are as a person. If you don't have a house, a husband, children, a thriving career, 17 pets, the white picket fence property, and a Nobel Prize, you're fucked. No, but realistically, how I'm feeling about it is I feel like I'm entering my life for like the first time, and I know that's so silly because I'm 30, like I've been on the planet. I'm in my 30th year of being here, you know? But realistically, the first one, you're literally a fucking child. You've got to learn to walk, talk, eat solid food, and not shit your pants is basically what your first decade is about. Your second decade, you're a teenager where you think you know everything, but you're still stuck in school. You still have like rules and not obligations, but like parents that have obligations to look after you I think is where I was going with that. Basically, you're a teenager. You think you know everything, but really you know absolutely nothing. And then you enter your 20s, which is like your first taste of freedom, but it's also your first taste of like the crushing reality of what life is. So you spend these 10 years, or at least this is my experience, learning still. You know, it's gone from learning basic life skills to furthering your education and learning like the things that are actually going to get you places in life, to learning how life actually works. So you spend your 20s figuring out, you know, how to pay rent, how to do your taxes, how to finance a vehicle, how to establish a thriving career or at least turn up on time, please. But you also spend a lot of it partying, celebrating your milestones, like birthdays and things like that. You spend it exploring because it's your first taste of like real freedom for a lot of people. And I don't see why that should have to stop at 30, you know? So for me, entering my 30s is really, really exciting because I feel like I've done the eating, talking, shitting portion, I did the mandatory school portion, and then I've done the portion that is horrible and stressful and sometimes really, really fun, but also really, really confusing. And now I feel like as I enter my 30s, I actually have a head on my shoulders. I've got some sort of stability beneath me, and I have an idea of what I might want to do with the rest of my life, which, to be honest, if you don't know that by the time you're 30, that is absolutely okay. A lot of people get into a career and they get themselves established, and then they hit the age of 27. This is a scientific fact, by the way, you can Google it. Everybody has, or not everybody, but a lot of people have some sort of midlife crisis around the age of 27 where you feel like you need to change your career and your life, or something monumental, have some sort of large change around the age of 27, and that's absolutely okay. Which is why it doesn't make any sense for your life to suddenly be all put together the second that you hit 30. So for me, turning 30 is like, wow, this is it. This is the real freedom. This is where life actually begins. This is where I start to make something of myself and be who I'm going to be, and not just be struggling or learning or an asshole, hopefully. I feel like I'm just starting to understand what like my hobbies and my passions actually are. If you guys have been following my channel, you'll know that like over the past year and a half, I was doing a lot of like hobby type videos where I tried different things. I did a lot of painting, I did some crafting, and I feel like that was me experimenting and trying to figure out what I actually enjoyed. And it's just sort of like now settling with me what those main things might be, and now I still have room where I'm figuring it out and trying new things. And hopefully I'll be able to do that for the rest of my life. But I do have these like core 2, 3, 4 hobbies that I'm like, right, this is me. I'm solid in this now. I feel like I'm really excited for my 30s to be like me time, as weird as that sounds. Like for me to figure myself out, because I've spent 29 years figuring the world out, and now I feel like your 30s are your time where you can like really start to be a little bit selfish and not have to focus on keeping yourself alive and doing the bare minimum and learning every single step of the way, and actually start to flower and flourish and develop as a person. So please, by all means, someone correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe these next 10 years in my 30s are going to be just as hard as the 10 I've just done, but I'm going in optimistic, I'm going in hopeful, I'm hoping that I'm going in as one person and I'm going to exit it 10 years from now as a completely different one. Because if you aren't aiming to grow as a person every single day, then what the heck is the point? I can't think of anything less interesting than a 30-year-old woman who is exactly the same as she was in high school. I know I just did last week like a big video of like inspirational quotes and things that I thought were really important, but just a few extra ones that weren't featured in that video for today, because I feel like the year specifically of 29 taught me a whole bunch of things that I wish I had known sooner, and that I probably had the opportunity to learn sooner, but I was just blind to it because, I don't know, I was busy or arrogant, or I don't know. But either way, I've learned them now and I think they're really important. And one of them is that, like, how do I phrase it? This is where I get stuck. Like, sometimes you need to let go of things even though it hurts you, because a dream obviously isn't meant for you if it's killing you. So I'm talking about like there have been things that I have desperately wanted and tried to make work and pushed out and pushed for really long periods of time that just didn't work out. And that's okay. And it sucks and you're allowed to be upset about it, but there's no point like continuing that for too long. Like once you realize that the effort that I'm putting in is just so astronomically high and what I'm getting out of this is so little, you kind of need to make that call that I could be devoting this energy somewhere so much more worthwhile. This one actually kind of comes from an idea from Mark Manson's book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and it's that you can't and shouldn't fight for everything. So if you fight for everything, then it really kind of like dilutes your power in a way. And I don't know if this is going to make sense because this is me just absolutely butchering what Mark was talking about in his book. If you haven't read The Subtle Art of Giving a Fuck, I recommend you do. I have read it twice. It is fantastic. I will indeed read it again. My cat is screaming. Hi, buddy. He didn't want me. What I kind of took from that part of Mark's book is the more things that you give a fuck about, the less your fucks matter, is basically what I think he was trying to say. So pick your battles and pick them passionately. Like, pick your 2, 3, 4 things that you really, really give a fuck about, things that you care about. Like, anybody who knows me knows that I'm really into the ocean. I'm really into like conservation, things like that. So when it comes to the ocean and our animals and things, I give so many fucks about that. I will fight for that. I'm interested in that. I want to study that. I will argue with people about that. But if I extended that energy across every little thing that entered my realm of vision, every little thing that popped up on my plate, I would not have enough. I wouldn't have enough energy. Therefore, my fucks would have less impact and mean less. So pick your battles. You can't fight for everything, so fight for what you actually care for. I don't know where this one came from, but I just read it somewhere, and it says, failure is almost always the beginning of something new. You just have to adjust your mindset. And I really like that, because I really, really struggle with failure. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and if it's not perfect, it's just not good enough. So I am really working on that, and I think as I go into my 30s, I'm going to kind of make that a priority for me, is that like, failure is not a bad thing. Not being perfect is a bad thing. It just means that you have things to work on and that you have new opportunities. So maybe pick a few things that matter to you, that resonate with you, and use them as reminders. Because that's what I'm sort of doing, and those 3 quotes are kind of like my starting point for that. I'm going to make sure I'm keeping things like that in mind. I'm going into a lot of new things this year, so I think it's really, really going to matter. One of those things being a career. At the time of me recording this, I am actually unemployed. Love that for me. No, I think I made a video last year, maybe like last, I don't know, July, August, before that, sometime last year, saying that I had left a couple of jobs since moving to Australia and started a new one that I really loved. And that was all okay, even though I felt like a bit of a failure for jumping jobs so quickly. But I also said in that video that if a year from now doesn't seem to work out and I move on to something new, that is okay too. And that is unfortunately what happened. So when I'm talking about letting go of something, even when it hurts, for me, that was that job. I loved that job. I would still be there if circumstances were different, but they're not. And that's okay. So at the moment, I'm looking for something new, and I'm hoping to find something this time that I am incredibly passionate about. That's something I can kind of settle into for a really long period of time, something that holds my interests, but also has like my values in the center of it, because I think that's what I've been struggling with. Is I find jobs that I'm like, oh yeah, this is good enough, this is interesting, I could do this for a while, but it doesn't really resonate with who I am as a person. So that is what I'm looking for in terms of a career right now. I went through a phase, especially through this like 28, 29, of I really don't give a fuck what I do. I don't want to climb a corporate ladder anymore. I just want to vibe. I want to have a good time. I want to go and like live on a beach and make cocktails at a bar for tourists for the rest of my life. And honestly, I would still really love to do that, but I feel like it's okay if that comes a little bit later and maybe I do grind for another 10 years first. So it's okay to kind of flip-flop a little bit, I think, and a lot of people are scared of that, especially if you have parents that come from, like, you know, our older generations where you get one job and you do that job for your entire lifetime. I know that they can be a little bit scared for us when we're moving jobs around, or if you do take different opportunities, or if you move once a year like I do at the moment, but it's okay. It's okay to be indecisive. It's okay to try new things and find places that you actually feel appreciated and feel passionate and feel excited to go to work every day. Because if you want something that's long-term, like what I do, if I want somewhere where I'm going to turn up for 10 years, 15 years and be excited every single day, I need to find something that matches my personal values, not just like the expectation of what's entering my bank account. Other things that I've been thinking about a lot more as I've been entering my 30s, you guys might know a little bit if you follow me on other social medias, or if you're my friends and family, hey. I'm focusing a lot more on my health and wellness. Pretty much since I moved here to Australia, the healthcare system I find is significantly better here, so it's been a lot easier to get the help that I need. So I'm working a lot more on getting myself to a place where I am healthy, both physically and mentally. I've been trying to lose weight. I'm dealing with, you know, my headaches, my heart, all of those good things. So I think I'm in a really good place now, not because I'm like perfectly healthy or anything like that, but because I have found like a range of services and a range of really good doctors that are actively helping me. So I'm excited to see where my health and like wellness goes as I get further into my 30s, because I genuinely think I can only get better at this point, and that's really exciting for me. I've also heard, and correct me when I'm wrong, well yes, when I'm wrong, but if I'm wrong, that you go through like another puberty when you hit your 30s, and I need that. So I'm so excited for that, because you've got your actual puberty and then you get like a second puberty around like 24 to 26, and you think that's it. But I have heard and seen, I'm on TikTok, I see it, these absolutely stunning women really coming into their own in their 30s. And I know that it happens to guys too, because some guys can't grow a beard until they're like 28, and then it's like they become a whole nother person when they hit their 30s. So this third friggin' puberty fucking truck just ram into me full force. I'm so ready for that. I've also found myself significantly, hello, he's not even there. Oh hi, you're in this corner, don't fall. Rusty and Chicken are playing, so I'm really sorry if all you hear is him meowing. That's how he plays, because he's deaf. I've also found myself a lot more interested in like spirituality and religion lately. Also, whoa! Also my like family history and family tree, really interested in that. Mark and I did like a MyHeritage test a few years ago that I've kind of made like a few connections around, but I really want to do either like a My Ancestry or a 23andMe kind of test. I think that would be really fascinating. I don't have a whole lot to say about those three things right now, because I honestly don't even know where to start. So if y'all want to point me in the direction of like some sort of spirituality, religion, tracing your family tree for dummies sort of books or guides, let me know. I do have a couple of friends who have been really great in answering my questions about like religion and God and things like that, like Christianity specifically. So that's been really great just to have someone to talk to. I don't really know what I'm into or what I believe in or anything yet, but I do feel like it's kind of the time in my life where I have like the energy and the developed brain needed, what do you call it? When your frontal lobe develops. I feel like that happened to me at 30. What I'm trying to say is I've entered a phase in my life where I'm actually interested in these things now, and I'm really, really excited to kind of deep dive and read books and talk to people and see if maybe there is something that I really believe in, or maybe there is something that I want to learn a whole bunch about, even if it's not something that I want to like live my life by. So that's really exciting for me too, even if it is kind of like a weird grey area at the moment. I obviously still want to travel a lot. Nothing has changed there. Mark and I do plan to travel to a new country at least once a year. So in the next 10 years, that obviously means 10 countries. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I need to find a job to do that first. But yeah, nothing's changed in that regard. I still want to travel. I still just want to buy a home and live really happily and cozily with my husband and my cats. I want to find a really good job. I want to kind of look inside myself and see what I can learn for my self-development, for my future, all those really, really good things. And can I tell you exactly what those things are right now? No, not a chance in hell. Couldn't even tell you where I want to start. But what I do know is that I am really excited to figure it out. I think for those of you who are turning 30 and maybe feeling a little bit anxious about it, I just kind of want to reassure you that realistically it is just a number, okay? You're not going to wake up one day on your 30th birthday and suddenly be grey and frail and know all of the wisdom of the world but have no ability to do anything about it. You know, this is not a storybook. You're not getting cursed. There's no potion. You're still you. I feel like the start of a new decade for me is just a really good opportunity to kind of double down and become a better version of myself. So that's what I'm really excited about. I'm excited to defy society's expectations of what 30 means for a woman. I'm excited to just experience life as it is meant to be for me, however that is. And I'm excited to take you guys along with me. If you want to be here, I would love that. I'm about to run out of battery and memory, and I don't really have too much else to say because if you can't tell, I'm a little bit kind of floating in the grey in terms of life right now, but if you have any advice for me about starting my 30s, please leave it in the comments below. I would absolutely appreciate it because I obviously need it. But otherwise, if you want to come on this journey with me and explore with me, make sure you subscribe. I post a new video every Sunday at 7 AM Brisbane time. I also post shorts content twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so maybe go and check those out. Maybe you'll find something there up your alley. Otherwise, thank you guys once again for watching another video of mine, and I will see you next week. Bye.